afford. So he says that the people were building a tower that would go all the way up to heaven. Well, first of all, I submit to you that heaven is just not up in outer space somewhere. But even if you thought it was, if you took all the dirt and the rocks on the planet Earth, it wouldn't even stretch up to the moon. If you stacked it up 6 feet wide by 6 feet square, there's not enough mass for it to even go to the moon, rather less to quote unquote heaven. So what were they building? I submit to you for your sanctified imaginations that they were building some type of a transcendental meditation pyramid. Now, when we start talking about religion, spirituality, the black church, you've got to understand that the pyramid is not what people think it is. The pyramids, there are 40 pyramid fields that stretch down the Nile, that start near Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. They stretch down the Nile, the pyramid fields. There are 40 pyramid fields. Some pyramids are so close together you can stand and touch them with, stretch out both arms. And as they began to develop their building technology, they built them all the way to what is now Cairo, Egypt, and you have the Great Pyramids, but there are even pyramids up under the water, up under the Mediterranean Sea. There are pyramids all across America that our Native American brothers and sisters built as well. These pyramids had a function. Don't think that they just built them to put dead bodies in. People have done a lot of research and they found kings' bodies and the queen's tombs and all of this. But if you were from the future, let's say you were from the future, and you saw an automobile sitting in a forest. And the automobile didn't have any tires on it. It didn't have a steering wheel. It didn't have a seat. It didn't have an engine. It was just a shell, and there was a dead body inside of it. And you might come across and say, wow, this is what they used to bury dead bodies in back in the day. You would have no idea that the automobile used to be on a road with wheels, gasoline, and with an engine, and would go 100 miles an hour down the road. Because you found it when it was sitting in a forest with trees growing up, with a dead body in it, with no engine and no motor, no seats, and nothing like that. That's the case with the pyramids. And it's going to take some African scholars, some young people, to really go back and do the research on all of this. I've done this for over 50 years. And I've learned something about those pyramids. Those pyramids, and there are even some in southern Africa, but they're so old they've crumbled. They have them in boxes, in warehouses. Those pyramids had a top on them like a star and a crescent, and it would spin. And they were covered with polished limestone, according to Dr. Yosef Ben Jochanan. I've got a syllabus. I don't know if Joyce passed my syllabus out, but that's what I want you to have. I'm gonna get Dr. Selassie to get Joyce to get my syllabus. On that syllabus, there are about 10 books that you can read. I don't wanna just quote unquote teach you anything. I want you to go study it for yourself. I'm not trying to brainwash you. Somebody teaches you something, they're brainwashing you. But I want you to read it for yourself. So I need Joyce to bring in the syllabus. If you can find her to do that, I'd appreciate it. The pyramids, as I've alluded to, had to be some type of transcendental meditation communication device. Just like you have satellite towers today, the pyramids were sitting in a liquid, but it was not water. And when they worked, when the tops were spinning, and there's writing on top of all the pyramids as well, when the tops were spinning, they did something very fantastic. We don't know what all they did. Not many people talk about this. I have pictures in my Eden's history book of people who came to America. The Toltecs came to Mexico, the Toltecas, and they worked with the Aztecs, the Aztecas. And the Toltecs were often worshipped as gods. These were the darker skinned people. And the Toltecs, who were worshipped by the Aztecs as gods, they helped them build the pyramids. The pyramids in the Americas are about 1,000 years younger than any pyramid in the motherland, in Africa, which I will also tell you about, called Eden, because that Garden Eden was in Eden. So I start talking about being an Edenite. But when the pyramid functioned, if you were inside of it, in the king's chamber, it was totally quiet, it was totally dark. And according to chapter 11 in the book of Genesis, when the people came together in this land they call Shinar, they looked and they talked, they looked all the same and they talked all the same. They had the same language and the same speech. Now Moses uses two words as we translate them to English, the same language and the same speech. Speech are the stocks of words. In the Sacred Name Bible that I have here, I have them out there on the table. My wife has some out there. It says stocks of words or language, speech. But the language is different than the stocks of words. Language refers to DNA. The stocks of words, or the speech, is what came out of people's mouths. So after this great cataclysm, this great flood that tore the land apart, the tribe of Noah resettled, and they came to a place called Shinar, according to Genesis chapter 11. They all talked alike, and they all looked alike. And these people were doing something fantastic. They had the original knowledge. And it's written that God came down, and the Hebrew Yahweh, the living Elohim, and when he came down, he saw what was going on. He said, let us go down and confound their language and scatter them.